I am back streaming again this week. I'm resuming a normal streaming schedule of Tuesdays and Thursdays. So we'll see. We'll see how much I stream this week. A lot busier. Whoa, hold on.
Starring Steph Curry.
I don't really have a plan for this stream session. Figure I'd just play some games, see if I can climb back to top 100, play some random decks, test some things out. I'll start off playing some MechWarrior. At this point, I don't know what quite to call it. It has everything in it. Has Hobgoblin, has Hogger, has MechWarrior stuff. Alright, assuming this is Mech Mage, I need to mulligan for 1 and 2 drops. Death's Bite and Frothing Berserker are both good, but they're too slow. I have much faster things I can mulligan for. Like MechWarrior here is nice. Hello, hello. And we curve out with a nice MechWarrior Frothing Berserker. It'd be nice if I got a 1-drop or if I got a weapon. But I'll live with, I'm okay with this. And this is the occasion where, having that weapon would be really nice to be able to kill the Snow Chugger. Punish him for coining it out. But, MechWarrior, it works. It actually is less punishing to me because the Snow Chugger I don't have a weapon for the Snow Chugger to actually kill. Or to freeze, right? So him frostbolting the MechWarrior here actually doesn't matter to me since I didn't have any mechs. We'll just play out the Frothing Berserker. He's down his coin, so maybe he'll play Tinkertown this turn. If he plays Tinkertown, I don't have a great response for it. Otherwise, I could play Hobgoblin plus Cogmaster, which is also really strong. Playing a 3/4 for 1 mana is quite good. Looks like that's the play. Alternate play would have been to play Warsong Commander plus Cogmaster, but with the Hobgoblin in play, this is a lot better. And this is going to force either removal on this, or he's going to end up trading the Oneotron in. I have the cruel task to kill the Snow Chugger efficiently. And that's brave. That's really brave. If this misses all the relevant targets, he's going to get super wrecked. Alright, so he'll trade. It works for him. We can play Warsong Commander plus Cruel Task here. Clear the Blast Mage. It gets the Warsong Commander into play. Still gives me a 2/2. Next turn I can MechWarrior. Plus Jeeves. He's already used a Frostbolt to kill my earlier MechWarrior, which makes the Warsong Commander much more likely to stick. Either that or he spends a full Fireball on it. Alright, we can't quite dump our hand, but this is a really lackluster turn from him, just dropping the Secret instead of playing any sort of mechs. Suggests that he has more expensive cards like Dr. Boom, Archmage Antonitis, maybe Fireballs he doesn't want to spend. So let's see, how do we want to do this? We could play Jeeves, drop the weapon, run Jeeves plus weapon into his Jeeves, clearing the mechs. I think that works. I mean, this is also nice in that it weakens my Jeeves just a little bit, so that if I do need to suicide it, when I feel like I have good card advantage, I can. Because, once this Jeeves is in play, he's going to try to dump his hand, and, he can't dump his hand that quickly, but I could probably get a lot more value out of Jeeves than he can. So once he gets close to getting value, I just sacrifice the Jeeves, and, I'm the only one that drew cards from it. Alright, so let's see. I guess we want to kill this first, see what spawns out of it. That might determine our turn. Looks like we're going to sacrifice the Cruel Task here and probably play a Mech Warp or Piloted Shredder. Get your power up. So this turn, I think he's probably going to Hero Power my Warsong Commander, which leaves him with 5 mana. It means that he's spending mana without spending cards, which still makes this Jeeves invaluable. He may even drop Dr. Boom here, because previous turns kind of suggested that maybe he had big cards that he couldn't play. Secret. Okay. I would like to play this weapon, but I think playing Hobgoblin here is fine. So this is the point where it becomes a lot more attractive to me to try to kill off my Jeeves. I don't think I can accomplish that this turn, as he's still a little too big, and my opponent is getting closer to dumping all his cards. I'm thinking maybe I'll just go face here. I have, what, 7 damage, and I have another 4, puts at 11.
What now?
He can still play a Noyotron, but this is 11 damage, plus he needs a board clear. Now, I get really punished by this if he has a Flame Strike, which is a card that is a possibility, but very unlikely with Mech Mage. The fact that he's been holding cards and not, dumping them because of Jeeves suggests that he had more expensive cards, but yeah, the likelihood of Mech Mage running Flame Strike is very low, to the point where you don't really want to bother playing around it unless it is the only possible way you can lose, and you can play around it without setting yourself back at all. Like, you can play around it for free, basically, is what I'm saying. Alright, so good start. Mech Mage is one of the matchups that's supposed to be pretty reasonable for us. There are draws where they're just too fast and you miss all your draws, but, on average, you should be able to match them or have a slight advantage. It is kind of rare, though, to get that much value out of Jeeves against Mech Mage. So we're up against Warlock. We're going to assume that it's Zoo. If it's Demon Lock, that doesn't change. We wouldn't want to keep any of these against Demon Lock anyways. Oh, someone asked how am I? I'm great.
I greet you.
Had a very relaxing weekend. I hadn't played for a while, I think since Thursday. I was top 100 before that, and alright. I've decayed to about 180. So I'm gonna see if I'm excited to actually see if I can maintain, or that I can climb with this deck. What happened to Handlock? Like, why aren't I playing around Handlock? Yeah, I guess because we don't really see it anymore. Ooh. So I think if I'm greedy, I can drop Hobgoblin, or if I'm really greedy, I can play Hobgoblin now. Let's see, he coined out the Nerubian Egg. That's interesting. I feel like if he had a buff spell to run the egg into the Cogmaster, like an Abusive Sergeant, he would have used it, right? He coined it out, which means I don't have to be worried about Hellfire, which means I could play Hobgoblin and conceivably not really be that worried about it. I really want to play Hobgoblin plus a Noyotron, but if I play Hobgoblin this turn, it becomes like a Dark Bond target, or maybe even Power Overwhelming. Although it's weird, it's just really weird that he coined out the egg turn 2. It's kind of confusing. I think it's just best that I set up the axe here. I hope that the Mech Warper lives. I think the Cogmaster is a little bit more likely to die. And we'll hold on to the Noyotron. This is high risk, high reward, because I am essentially missing a really key drop. But I don't want to play into mass removal too easily. Also, I don't know. I'm just really puzzled by his coin egg. Alright, so there it is. It's the Void Terror. That's the reason why he did what he did. Okay, so I like playing Hobgoblin and Neutron here. It would have been really nice to play Hobgoblin last turn. Would have prevented this play. And this is something that I should have considered. Like, why else would you play... Would you coin out egg turn 1, play it turn 2, right? You're probably setting up for Void Terror. I don't really have particularly efficient clears here, to the point where I'm not really sure if I want to clear. Maybe I just want to race. But I think I'm going to play Hobgoblin plus a Neutron. That's a sure thing. I may want to consider trading this Cogmaster into one of the Nerubins while I can. Before, he drops something like Hellfire. But he's just as committed in the board. So, I think Hobgoblin plus a Neutron is a sure thing. The question is, how much face do I want to go? Like, I can hit him for 8, right? 8 puts him at 14. He still needs to punch through all of this, forces him to trade. Yeah. Alright, we'll go for this. This is very unadvisable. This is very risky. But Void Terror is an interesting card. It doesn't really fit the profile of any major decks that I'm aware of. I'm not that updated with the meta. Maybe there is a list running around that is running Void Terror mainstream, but I'm not that familiar with that list. So yeah, I'm gonna force him to have to clear rather than trading and clearing, because I have pretty good momentum here. It's possible that he doesn't have enough to punch through this. All right. So he's probably gonna kill the Hobgoblin here. Which doesn't really bother me too much. Let's see. So, we kill the Nerubin, we trade in the Nerubin, and we can hit him for 3 more. Or we can trade, kill off the Defender, play a Neutron, and play Acolyte of Pain. Seems kind of mixed. Like, I went face with the Axe last turn because I wanted to push damage. But now I'm in a position where that's not as good anymore. I think I need to trade. Okay. So, we'll play the Neutron, we have no more Hobgoblin, and we'll set up the Acolyte of Pain. We'll trade this off, I think. Sorry, my friends list is basically full. I'm at 99. I usually just save one spot open in case people send me in requests just to see who it is, but otherwise I kind of just let it be. Okay. So we can double Taskmaster for double draw here, which is pretty nice. He's already used the Defender of Argus, which is good to know. And we can even trade here if we really want to. Like, I really do want to pressure him for damage. If I pump this up one more, I push 6 damage. It puts him at 8. I don't particularly want him to be able to trade his Void Caller in to anything. Maybe I'll pass up the draw. I mean, pass up the second draw from Cruel Task. I'll trade in the Void Terror, hit him for 1, play the Piloted Shredder. Bring the pain. The Prowling Berserker here isn't bad. It allows me to push a lot of damage because he still has to trade. By killing off the Void Terror, it prevents him from killing off the Neutron with the Void Terror easily, and then his Void Caller couldn't trade into something like my Piloted Shredder as easily. Like, he could still do that by playing like Hellfire or Dark Bomb, Silence, anything. Whoa. Alright, so I'm on a pretty short clock here now. Ooh, Dr. Boom's a good draw. So we'll just play the Dr. Boom. And we'll just punch. Alright, so here I'm getting a little bit nervous. If he drops something like Mal'Ganis out of the Void Caller, for example, or even a Doomguard, it becomes very difficult for me. Alright. Although Flame Imp is kind of like whatever.
Who dares summon me?
Okay, so this Hobgoblin is basically useless. I should probably trade in here. So I play everything, right? So I'll play the Frothing Berserker, and if I'm fortunate, I can prevent the Doomguard from trading into the Frothing Berserker. Alright, so let's see where these bombs go. That's not great. So I'll push it into the Flame Imp. That way I can guarantee killing the Flame Imp. Oh, that's not so good. Okay, so I'm not in the greatest shape. I probably shouldn't have pushed so much damage earlier. I thought I could rush past him, but the Defender of Argus ended up throwing a big wrench into those plans. The good news is that he's still really low, and he probably needs to trade the Doomguard in. If he doesn't need to trade it in, like if he drew a buff spell here, I may be in some trouble, because it's kind of difficult to deal with this 5/5 with what I have. But alright, so he has to trade here. He's used one Abusive Sergeant. Hopefully he doesn't have like another Abusive Sergeant than Doomguard. I can't control what he draws, so whatever he plays. And I feel like this was a winnable game. I had a lot of decisions I could have done differently. Mainly I used the axe to attack face because I thought that I could actually push damage to lethal. I just didn't plan for the Defender of Argus, which is just me not planning far ahead enough. Because his deck was... I didn't know what was in his deck. Okay, that's a little bit surprising. So he doesn't mind me getting that damage in. And I have a chance to buff... Oh, this is perfect. So now he needs to kill both of these guys off, or he can't tap. I get a draw out of the Acolyte, which helps me draw into like a weapon or something to win me the game. I still have both Death Spite. So now he's thinking about, does he need to tap, which means like whatever card he has in his hand is either really good or really bad. Oh, that sucks for him. Okay. But at this point, it's still really tough for me. I still need a weapon here. Because what can he do? He can run an Imp here, he can run the Void Terror in here, and he still wouldn't have enough to kill the Mech Warper. So this card needs to be a buff spell, or taunt. One of those two. What I was kind of surprised earlier was the fact that he decided to play the Void Terror before he played the... or play the Void Terror after he played the Void Walker. That's unfortunately not enough for him. No, it is. Okay, somehow I counted wrong for some reason. Okay, Hogger... Alright. I would have liked to play Hogger a little bit later, but... because he can perfectly trade into this, but he can't tap. He's playing one card a turn. On average, I think the one card I'll play will be stronger than his, unless it's a Sea Giant. And I have 3 cards that end the game. 3 out of 13. That's pretty good odds. Yeah, there we go. Alright, so not a flawless game, but, you know, the deck kind of carried us a little bit. Alright, so that's 2 quick wins. We've jumped 50 ranks. A couple more wins, we'll hit top 100 again. Which is nice. I mean, the deck certainly is competitive, even though most people don't give it a lot of respect. You know, which is good. Oh, GG. That's a nice deck. I haven't really seen Sea Giant or Void Terror played very much anymore. Okay, so against Shaman, it's all about controlling the early game. So something like Warbot, even if it can't like one-shot totems, is still kind of useful. I should get some kind of avatar icon for Twitch, says Boggy's boy. Yeah, I should. Yeah, no excuse, I guess. Okay, we'll keep Warbot. I kind of want to keep Acolyte, but there are better cards than Acolyte. You know, 2 drops. Like a Noitron Warbot is an okay opener. Not the best, but what it does is it allows me to kill totems. Alright, I like Cogmaster here, because then I can play a Noitron and it'll buff it to 3/2. It will kill totems, it will kill Zombie Chow, it will deal with most things that I'm concerned with, and you know, maybe he'll decide to Rockbite or Lightning Bolt this. I don't even know if anybody still runs Lightning Bolt. Then again, I don't know if there are any Shaman lists that are considered standard anymore. So we'll play the Neutron here and start pushing damage. Now this makes it so the Rockbiter isn't so good. But if he had Rockbiter, he would have played it last turn. And it also allows us to, you know, stomp totems here, which is really important. Alright, so next question is, do I want to play Frothing or do I want to play Warsong Commander? I like playing Frothing here. Warsong Commander is better for pushing the final few points of damage. Overall, Frothing is just bigger and more threatening. You know, he might actually hex this because of how threatening it is, especially considering he didn't really have any great plays for the first few turns. He's just toteming, like, you know, maybe he's setting up for Lightning Storm, I don't know. Looks like this is the Crackle, and it's 100% Crackle because of the Spell Power Totem. Alright, so we'll continue to, you know, kill these totems off. Because they will cause problems if we leave them up. I mean, Spell Power, for one, will make it so the Lightning Storm's great. It'll, you know, 100% kill the Piloted Shredder. And, you know, also Flame Tongue Totem. Alright, it's better that we play this second Shredder, and... This is a little bit questionable. I actually probably should have considered playing Commander, but I don't want to overextend the Lightning Storm. So he can pop the shield for free with this Creeper. He's not overloaded, so let's see, we push 8 damage, that put him at 17. Next turn we have 12 plus 2, that's 14, so he'll be at 3 life unless we draw into something. Alright, we'll just push damage. Now I'm wondering if I should place the Warbot because of Lightning Storm. Lightning Storm is a really big play. Someone asked about, somebody's been playing my Hobgoblin MechWarrior deck for a while and they don't have Hogger and face a lot of Face Hunters. Any good replacement? Just play a Sludge Belcher. In some cases, Sludge Belcher is better. I like playing Hogger just because he's cool, not because, you know, he's necessarily the best card. Alright, I'll play around Lightning Storm because Lightning Storm is the major way that he'll come back into this game. So if he doesn't have Lightning Storm, I'm super far ahead. And I'm probably going to win anyways. If he has Lightning Storm, then there's no way I should be playing this Warbot. Yeah, so there's Lightning Storm. So, you know, this Warbot, I keep the Warbot. It's unfortunate that he rolled Spell Power here. But, you know, what are you going to complain? Yeah, I mean, I probably could have, you know, tapped the Creeper a little bit so he wouldn't get so much value out of it. But okay, so we're clear of Lightning Storm. But I wanted the damage. I think that's the thing. This deck is in a face deck, so I shouldn't push damage as much as I do.
Hey, give me that!
Alright, oh, sorry, I gotta mute myself for a sec.
What a rush! Battle detected. Battle commencing.
I feel kind of okay making this play. He's played one Lightning Storm. So if he has a second one, you know, great for him. But I feel like this is a higher percentage play. Like before I saw the first Lightning Storm, there'd be no way I'd make this play. Alright, so we don't get charging Boombots, but the fact that he killed off the Warsong Commander actually makes it so there's enough room for Dr. Boom to spawn all his minions. And, you know, obviously we kill off the Manatee Totem. So this is a tough board for him to deal with. He has to simultaneously deal with the Doctor Boom and clear the board, which mean Hex Lightning Storm. And he didn't have Lightning Storm last turn, so that would take some epic draws. Alright, 110, not bad. This deck is prone to going on bad streaks too, so just because we won our first 3 games, don't expect me to win every game. It's just, you know, it's capable of, you know, winning. It's not a completely helpless deck. It's not a joke deck, let me put it that way. I mean, it does run things people, like, never expect to see in a competitive deck, like Warbot and Jeeves, but, you know, this deck holds its own. And it's actually pretty good against a lot of the decks that are popular in the metagame. Okay. So, Cogmaster going second is sometimes not good when they play a Cogmaster of their own. The best response to their Cogmaster is a Fire Wax. Now, we saw that they mulliganed everything, so it feels like he missed a lot of the cards that he wants. So I feel kind of safe about playing turn 1 Cogmaster, turn 2 MechWarrior, turn 3 Deathspite. So we'll throw back the Acolyte, try to get something a little beefier, a little juicier to play. Someone asked me, what do I think about Milrogue? I haven't really played it too much. He missed his 1-drop. He mulliganed all his cards, so he didn't keep it if he had it. He could be Freeze Mage, but I think I'll be playing the Cogmaster nonetheless, even though I have Hobgoblin. What do I think? But yeah, about Milrogue, I haven't really played with it. I think it's a really neat idea, but I haven't tested it yet. It's one of those decks, though, I definitely love testing. Alright, so playing the MechWarrior here is nice. It feels like he's playing Freeze Mage. The key to Freeze Mage is to deal with the first Doomsayer. If you can deal with the first Doomsayer, you're in pretty good shape. Wow, so he's just hero powered down to Cogmaster. But we get Piloted Shredder here, or we can get Hobgoblin plus Warbot. I mean, which puts more damage on the table? Hobgoblin Warbot versus Piloted Shredder. Warbot is more, right? That's 1 more damage per turn. And let's see, if he's Freeze Mage turn 4, he has no major milestone plays that I'm worried about. Like, there's no Flame Strike, there's no Blizzard, for example. He can play Explosive Sheep, which does nothing to this kind of board. Alright, so I like to push damage as much as possible. I basically want to be able to pop his block before he has a chance to kill me back. Let's see. It's good that I don't have to deal with coin, so I don't have to worry about coin Blizzard, coin Flame Strike. Like, I know each turn is going to be a certain kind of mass removal as a possibility. Like, turn 4, he seems to he'll have, like, really lackluster plays. Like, last turn was a major milestone play for card draw, like Arcane Intellect and... Okay. So, this is what I was saying about it's really, really important to deal with their first Doomsayer. So, what we do is we just tap the Doomsayer, execute it. We don't really care about executing not Ysera, Alexstrasza. I mean, we could Deathspite it too. But then we don't develop a minion. The thing about saving this execute is if he has a second Doomsayer, like he has Frostbolt Doomsayer next turn, then I won't have a way to kill it, because the Deathspite by itself wouldn't be enough. So I'm a little tempted to drop Deathspite here instead of using this execute. But I mean, he used 1 Doomsayer. What is the likelihood that he'll have a second one? I think it's a risk I can't afford to take. Deathspite. Okay. But yeah, it's the second Doomsayer that I'm worried about. Like, if he played Frost Nova Doomsayer this turn, and I didn't have this execute, I would have no way to kill it, and that would be really bad. I have a pretty sticky board, like, even Blizzard doesn't quite kill this, and I have 1 free turn worth of damage. Unless he plays Frost Nova. Okay, so that's a pretty late Arcane Intellect. And the Dr. Boom's quite good too, because if we can get him close to death range, in terms of like killing him, then he can't kill the Boombots easily. Okay. Commander is quite good. Not really good in this situation. I will hold on to the Commander.
Battle commencing.
Because what the Commander allows me to do, it allows me to charge and kill him when, after I've already popped Ice Block, when he's like at 1 HP. And he can't stop it. Oh, Jeeves is quite good, but we will coin out the Dr. Boom here. A second Blizzard wouldn't be bad. It's too bad that these Boombots are going to hit him before the Ice Block, but he doesn't even have Ice Block up. In a way, I'd say that he has a lot of cards he wants to play, but not enough time to play them all. Because he needs to somehow squeeze in, Ice Block at some point in time. And he won't be able to Ice Block and Flame Strike or things like that. Alright, so that's an easy game. I've only lost once to Freeze Mage in maybe 10 games. Oh, we're top 100. Nice. Yeah, Boombots are really good against Freeze Mage, as someone pointed out. Well, today's a casual day. I don't particularly care about protecting rank. Like, top 100 in the middle of the month, no big deal. I just want to see how high I can go. I just want to keep testing. I want to see how good this deck really is. So, we'll keep going. Top 100 is not something to be too proud of right now. But, it's always nice to see that, homebrew deck is being successful.
You asked for it.
Victory or death!
Okay, we're going to assume that it's Mech Mage again, and none of these cards are great against Mech Mage. You want your 1 and 2 drops, your Fire War Axes. Turn 3 is a little bit too slow. If I was playing a different deck, like if I was playing Patron, then, 3 drops are kind of okay. Like, Frothing Berserker is kind of okay to keep in a Patron deck. Hello, hello. Hello, Decorative. Hello, Pans. Hello, everybody. It's always nice to, get a small crowd when I stream. Oh, I need to hit confirm. Not paying attention. Alright, so this is a really good hand. I mean, the Execute, not so good against Mage, but I can play this Cogmaster without worrying about it dying for free, because it's been... it's protected by the Fire Axe. Like, he coins out Mech Warper, I kill it. He coins out Snow Trigger, I kill it. It's like, I'm not afraid of anything. Like, his most threatening play would be Cogmaster Clockwork Gnome. Because I could kill one, but I would still lose my Cogmaster. Yeah, I mean, I haven't streamed since Thursday, so... Alright, it's interesting that he coined something out. Does he coin out a What? Alright, so I have a couple options here. I can axe that, or I can Mech Warper and trade. Axing it... Okay, so... Whether I axe it or not, either way, I'm going to get a minion on board. I get either a 3-2 or a 2-3. I think, playing the axe here. Because next turn I can develop Mech Warper plus Cogmaster. And he's already used the coin. I feel like using the coin the way he did was very inefficient. Not inefficient, like, I know he wanted to have a chance to kill the Cogmaster. And now, like, he's committed to hero powering this. or he plays a minion and I just, you know, trade the Cogmaster. So he essentially just wasted his last turn. Unless he ends up hero powering my Cogmaster. I don't really like where my hand is right now. If he plays some good value minions like Sludge Belcher, and decks that run Mana Worm do run Sludge Belcher very often, we can easily lose this game. This is not an easy game by any means.
We have many secrets.
Okay, we got Jeeves, which makes me want to use this Execute. Anyways, we play the Taskmaster. I mean, okay, so if we play Jeeves now, we can play Jeeves and Execute. Which means we'd probably be executing a Jeeves, which isn't very good. I think I could wait one more turn to play Jeeves. So if we play Taskmaster, we'll buff the Mechwarper. We'll axe the Cruel Task, and we'll trade into the Kirin Tor. So let's play this first. See what happens. Okay, so we trade into the bigger minion, we axe the other one, we hit him for 7, and we play Jeeves next turn. I mean, I would like to be able to get rid of the Execute, but if there are other things I can play instead of Execute, then I'd happily play those instead. Alright, so that's something that's actually worth executing. Oh. I want to play Hobgoblin too, but this is 2 cards is too much to pass up.
Can I help you, sir?
No problem.
I mean, chances are we can draw into something that we can play with Hobgoblin, like an Neutron. So, alright, let's see him dump his hand. I don't think he can dump his hand that quickly. He has mostly more expensive cards. Alright, so that's 1 card. That's 2 cards. What does he kill? He kills the Jeeves, which is great, because we have a... I guess we don't have a second one. Okay. Let's see. I might play some Patron decks later, but I probably won't be playing it today, so we'll probably trade into the Mana Worm, and then play Hobgoblin plus Frothing, and next turn we can play Hobgoblin plus an Neutron. He's 1 turn off from Flame Strike. So I'm not worried about the board clear this turn. And I have enough for lethal, so he's going to probably play Fireball Ping, and I'll be 1 damage off of lethal. That is probably his best play. Okay. Sludge Belcher isn't that good because the Frothing Berserker is going to grow. So it doesn't actually prevent lethal. But yeah, like, if I didn't draw that Jeeves, I might not have enough gas to actually punch through all of that. Like, I might have been stopped dead in my tracks because of the Sludge Belcher. Yeah, the coin that he used would have been invaluable for him to play things a turn earlier. The chance to kill the Cogmaster was a huge risk on his part. But yeah, I'll probably save the Grim Patron's Warrior decks for another day. I actually want to experiment with my own builds. I just want to see how far I can climb with this. Someone asked, am I running 2 Jeeves? Yes, I am. Okay, I think this was the same guy, right? Oh boy. Get out of the way. I want to see who... Yeah, okay, I played this guy last game. So I know he runs Mana Worm, and he runs Water Elemental. Alright, so let's think about this. He plays turn 1 Water Element... turn 1 Mana Worm. I'll play nothing, and then I play turn 2 Neutron, he'll maybe ping and punch. I can coin out the Death Spite. Hobgoblin isn't going to see a lot of play. I might be okay with this. So this is more of a value hand than an early like board control aggression hand. I also forgot to pay attention to whether he kept any cards in his hands, because I wanted to see if he kept a card, right? If he kept a card, maybe he had a Mana Worm, and that might have affected the way I mulligan. Like, if I knew with a higher degree of certainty that he has a Mana Worm, then maybe I wouldn't keep the Neutron.
What to do? What to do?
Cogmaster is great. It helps me curve out. And now I can play, you know, Neutron next turn and kill whatever he plays. Or if, say, he plays something like Mad Scientist, maybe I don't kill it, so that I can coin out the Piloted Shredder without worrying about it being copied. I would love to see him just Hero Power here. I'm not really sure what other 2-drops that this deck runs. Alright, so Mad Scientist. Alright, so we know we're going to play a Neutron. And if we trade, then next turn, whatever we play gets copied, right? We don't have enough power on the board to clear what gets copied, so I kind of like just going face here. And then we can play out our Piloted Shredder. Okay, so I like coin Shredder here and then killing off this Mana Worm. He can Hero Power this down. But, you know, we're in reasonable shape. Ooh, that's a card. Alright, so we know about Mirror Entity. It usually makes it a good Death Spite turn. Although Warbot's a good draw. So we can play Commander. Let the Commander get copied. Play the Warbot to buff our Cogmaster to kill off his War Sun Commander. What do you do with this deck against Dr. 3? Or I guess you mean Dr. Boom. Usually I just deal with it. Execute it, trade guys, ignore it. Let's see. If we play our second commander, we can trade. Or we can just set up the Death Spite, that's fine. Oh, you mean what do you do with this deck without it? Alright, so ooh, Hogger. Not too bad he has a Mirror Entity up, right?
What now?
Alright, well, if we clear this Mirror Entity, that's it for Mirror Entities. We can run Commander in, we trade with the Water Elemental. We could play Jeeves this turn, but it seems kind of risky. If we play Commander, he can get charge out of it. So I kind of like playing Jeeves here. So let's see if it is not Duplicate instead.
Can I help you, sir? Can I help you, sir?
And then we'll kill off the Water Elemental. And we'll enrage our Warbot Oh no, he can just tap, then he'll kill the... Yeah, this is fine. And then I'll hit him. I don't get Jeeves value. But it's unlikely that he's going to get Jeeves value either. Because his deck is a lot slower. He runs a lot more expensive cards. Why didn't I play the Hogger and kill it with my weapon? Did I overlook that play? Yeah, maybe that might have been the play. Yeah, I think I would have liked that. I think I got too distracted by the idea, oh, I don't want it copied, that I forgot to consider it. Anyways, this turn. We can clear the water elemental.
What now?
Now, we do have a turn to play Hogger here. I also would like to play Dr. Boom, because we've been through both mirror entities. I feel like Dr. Boom is the right play no matter what. And then we'll kill off his Jeeves, as he's farther along the hand dumping than I am, and I feel like I have enough value to win. All these secrets! So, let's see. The previous secret was not duplicate. So the first secret is probably counterspell. That just tells me he has a fireball in hand that he forgot to use because he didn't realize he didn't have mana. And so the second spell is probably duplicate.
I wonder.
Well, I'm really far ahead, so I feel no need to actually commit Hogger to this board. And I also don't feel the need to buff the Taskmaster. I can't play out all my cards.
Battle commencing. Oh, yes, sir.
Ice Barrier, okay. So what does this tell us about that other card that he has?
Let the pain speak to me. Let me get back.
Alright, so Flame Strike, I think would be... No, there's the Flame Strike. That's why I didn't play Hogger that turn. And I played things I didn't really care about. I got cards back from Jeeves anyways. So... we'll play Hogger plus MechWarrior. And, I mean, there's a possibility that this is Ice Block. But I would like to see that it's Duplicate first, because we have a lot of damage lined up next turn. Like, we have a lot of damage right now, and I would just say... let's just say, let's go for it, okay? Whoa. Alright, so it's Duplicate, so he's super duper duper dead. The reason I didn't play Frothing last turn is because I wanted to have a 100% chance of having it hit him. I had the Warsun Commander, so it was going to charge out anyways. So I didn't want to risk of it dying to a Flame Strike or a Fireball. I mean, granted, Hogger was in play, and that already gave him a lot of targets he needed to deal with. You know, I like 100% plays. I don't like leaving... Whether my Frothing Berserker hits him, I didn't want to leave it up to whether he had a Flame Strike or removal spell. Because I had Warsun Commander for the charge. So, you know, I could guarantee that it hits him. For those asking about the deck list, this is it. This is the deck list. I linked it in chat. Oh, I mean, we're on a pretty good hot streak. Alright, so we're up against Druid, and Cogmaster turn 1 is not that good. Especially when I don't have follow-up. So if I keep the Cogmaster, I certainly throw everything back because I want to mulligan hard for follow-up. And by follow-up, I mean, like, I need like a Mech Warper or Neutron or even a Fiery War Axe. Okay, so this isn't that good. I have a Death Spite, so at the very least I... Okay, so we'll play Cogmaster here, and in some cases it's actually better to play Warbot. Because if this is a Wrath Magnet, then I'd rather have the Warbot Wrath over the Cogmaster. So this is a bit of an uncomfortable situation, because as soon as that guy unstealths, I can't deal with it. I need to draw into a Mech or Fiery War Axe. Otherwise, he just eats both my guys. So, you know, he'll kill my Warbot this turn, and then my Cogmaster is still unable to kill the Shade on its own. The fact that he's using Wrath here is actually fine by me. Let's see. So whatever I play gets killed by the Shade. So what value does this do for me if I play the Acolyte? I get the card drawn now, and I save myself 4 damage. But I'd Hero Power if I don't play the Acolyte, so I'm really only saving myself 2 damage. I will get a draw from the Death Spite later, and it's unlikely he'll drop a Taunt, so this turn is just Hero Power. I'll kill the Shade next turn unless he does something crazy, like play a Taunt. Okay. So this is going according to plan. Alright, so turn 4, I have no targets in play, so playing Keeper feels kind of silly for him, so he probably won't be playing Keeper or the Grove or anything. Plays a second Shade, alright, that's not bad. This is a decent Mech Warper Screwjank turn. One of the reasons why I like this is because I don't want to play this Anoyotron quite yet while I have this Death Spite in play. I don't want to ping off my own Divine Shield, but I want the option to use this weapon. With this Shade in play, though, I have to be careful about turn 9. Alright, so there's the Silence. And that's fine. We get a really easy clear here. We can play the Acolyte. And then we could even play the Frothing Berserker. Now, something that I talk about a lot, is about being too greedy with your Frothing Berserkers. Like, if I play Frothing Berserker and then I tap the Whirlwind, it will buff it to BGH range. If it buffs it to BGH range, then I lose a lot of tempo. But because I have Dr. Boom in play, I think I'm okay being super greedy here. Because if he doesn't have BGH or a way to deal with the Frothing Berserker efficiently, he gets punished really, really hard. I'm not a huge fan of Patron in this deck, although it does have its uses. Okay, so he plays his Force of Nature, so I don't really get punished for playing that Frothing Berserker. And if he has Big Game Hunter, he's saving it. But that was essentially a really nice turn for me because he didn't develop any of his board at all. So this turn, if he has BGH, he'll play it, and then he has 4 mana left, so maybe a swipe would be really nice. So he'd swipe first, then BGH, but no, he doesn't have that. Let's see. Oh, that's a card. Is it possible that I kill him this turn? So I Warsong plus Frothing Berserker. Alright, that is 2 damage. I hit the Boombots twice. That's 4 damage. That's 6. 6 plus 7 is 13, plus 2 is 15. The Boombots will hit something. Whatever it hits, it will buff it by 1. So that's at least 17 points of damage. And then Fire War Axe is another 3, so that's 20. So if I play Warsong Commander Frothing Berserker here, there's actually a chance that he just dies. I'm 1 damage off lethal. If I'm 1 damage off lethal, right, I'm 1 damage off lethal. 18, yeah, I'm gonna kill this off. Just so he can't, like, innervate combo me next turn. Because I think if he innervated combo me, then he would have exactly lethal. No, I wouldn't say that cutting the Screwjank for Grim Patron is wrong. Actually, of the cards I tried to put Grim Patron in for, I felt like the cards I took out were better. Like, I tried cutting out the legendaries. I cut out Hogger, I cut out Dr. Boom, and every time I got Grim Patron, I wished it was the older cards. But Screwjank is one of those cards that you probably won't miss it as much, which makes Patron an okay replacement for, I think. So if you were to cut a card, Screwjank would be a reasonable one to cut for Grim Patron.
Well played. Well played.
Alright, so we have a 100% win ratio today.